So one of the most important features that you'll need to include on your front cover in order to pick up maximum marks is a really neatly presented barcode area. Now this screenshot is a little bit blurry, but you can see in terms of its positioning and size on the front cover that it does look really, really professional when it's done properly. So first things first, I'm going to create a shape for the barcode to actually go into. I would say of all the front cover features that you need to make sure you use the ruler tool for really effectively, this is going to be it. So I'm going to create a shape that would fit around about the same sort of size as what you see here, maybe a little bit smaller in fact. So around about that much. So using the shape tool, at the moment it's on the ellipse shape tool, so you can hold down over the shape tool and go to rectangle and create a shape like so. It's black at the moment, I'm going to change that to white. You can change between black and white either by clicking on this arrow here or press X on your keyboard. So I'm going to press X. G is the paint bucket tool, shortcut for the paint bucket tool, which is already on. I'm going to change that to white. You want to rasterize the shape so it becomes a smart object, like so. Now you can't see anything at the moment, so what we'll do is we'll just add a temporary stroke effect so that we know that that is in fact there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just zoom in on this working area that we're dealing with, and we're going to create margins or a bleed basically to ensure that everything is neatly presented. So nothing should really go inside of this area right here. So I'm going to go to the magazine conventions area where all of the barcodes and social media and publisher logos that are available to you are accessible. So I'm going to go File, Place. I'm going to go to the AS Media Studies section, and in Unit G321 you should find a folder called Magazine Conventions. We're not going to place the whole folder in, but I'm going to go to the thumbnail options here and choose what I think would be a suitable barcode. I'm going to go with a more rectangular barcode, so something like this one here. So let's go with barcode number 3. There's a choice of 3 here. If you don't like any of them, go and find something that you'd be more accustomed to using. So I'm going to resize. In fact, if I just Control Z, make sure, as always, you resize from a corner and you must hold the Shift key down. So nice and slowly resize that barcode without warping or pixelating that image or ruining basically the quality of that image. And we're going to use the Move tool to place that into this area here. Now, one of the problems that you'll notice now is that that barcode itself is completely invisible. So we're going to move that barcode above the shape, and we're going to call the shape barcode background, like so. And we can then move that down. On a really nice shortcut, if you press Control and right click near the layer that you want to, it gives you a drop down list of all the layers available. So if you don't like the name Barcode 3, actually we can change that to just barcode. We can move that barcode down, like so. Now that has actually overlapped, as you can see here, this background. So I'm going to use the Magic Eraser tool, which is already set up. I'm going to go to the barcode. I'm going to rasterize that shape. I'm going to get rid of the white in the background. I can then go to Filter, Sharpen, to sharpen the quality, and I can keep doing it until I'm happy with it. I'm going to sharpen the quality of that actual barcode. Still think it's quite small, so I'm going to go to Command T again, or Control T on a PC, resize from corner. I'm going to make that as big as I can get it inside of that shape that we've just created. I would just say that whatever your magazine of inspiration is, guys, just you're not reinventing the wheel, just replicate whatever layout they've got there for their own magazine. I'm going to create some more shape areas for where our social media logos and publisher logos are going to go in a little bit later on. That's pretty much that. In terms of text tool, if we move over ever so slightly, you'll see things like the date, price. We can add that now with the text tool, really straightforward. Just T for text, drag from one corner to the other side. So I'll undo that again, press escape. So text tool, which I'm already on, go to a corner, hold down the mouse and just drag all the way across, and then when it snaps, and you'll see it snap and you'll kind of feel it snap, so to speak, just let go. Font size at the moment is far too big, so I'm going to change that to this size here. Your first magazine is going to be issue number 1. It is going to be issue number 1. You could put it in the font style of the masthead in order to increase the brand awareness, so I'm going to keep it in that 84 rock style actually, because it looks quite good. Back into the text tool, I'm going to make my magazine a monthly magazine, so June 2015, and I'm going to give it 2 prices. $2.99. Pound sign doesn't seem to work in that font style, so I'm just going to change it to Arial, and then space / and I'm going to have it as a US edition as well, so it's going to be a global publication. Alt 3, again it doesn't work in that font style, so it's roughly around about $4.50. You can check the exchange rates though. Change that back to Arial. Now it doesn't look quite fit for purpose, so if I just work my way down to that area there, I'm going to adjust this so that it looks similar to the other. So I'm going to change it to bold. I'm going to decrease the height a little bit. Make it a little bit fatter. In fact, we need it to be Alt 4. Can't seem to find the dollar sign. You can put the dollar sign in though. Let's do the same over here. Increase the height, increase the width of the actual letter itself. And that's our working area. So one of the things I can do now is I can go to paragraph, change the alignment, center align the whole lot. I can go into here, create a separator between the two, so I'm just going to go into the line tool, just create a nice black line that kind of separates all of that important information, so that when I go to Control H you can see it's starting to look nice and professional. I'm going to do the same up here as well. Now I don't have to do the shape again, I can actually duplicate the layer. You can duplicate the layer through a number of different ways. I'm going to show you one way now. You can just drag the layer to here, and you'll see that a copy is created, and that when I move it, like so, just with the arrow keys, I'll zoom in a little bit more because it's quite a thin shape. Might be quite hard to recognise it. There we go. Starting to come together. Last thing we're going to do is the name of the magazine. So the name of this magazine is called Undiscovered. We're going to put Undiscovered within here. First and foremost, we're going to put in some other publisher logos and other institution logos, and we're going to fit everything inside of here, so it should be nice and small. So we're going to go again, File, Place. I'm going to go to that Magazine Conventions folder from earlier on. Hopefully Wheel of Death will subside soon, which it does. I'm going to just pick just the Twitter logo actually just for today. I'm just going to place in the Twitter logo. Again, holding down the Shift key, making sure I'm not warping or distorting the quality of that image. Drag over another grid line. Instead of typing it out again, in fact I will just type it out again, I'm just going to type in here the @ and Undiscovered. It's a bit too big at the moment. Going to put it in the font style for the masthead, like so. @ sign is not going to be visible in that, so I'll change that as well. Put it in bold. Make this as big as we can before it disappears. Missing a letter as well. We can move that down. I'm going to put the Bauer Media logo over here. Go to File, Place. I'm going to put Bauer in that shape there. Shift key, dragging down. Like so. Press an enter when I'm happy. And then in this final area here, I'm just going to put the web address. All I'm going to do actually is just duplicate this layer. If I hold down the Alt key, you'll see a white arrow appear. I'm going to drag. I'm just going to change the dimensions of this. So this is going to be a .com website. So www.undiscovered.com. It's a bit too big, so we'll change the size of that. Put that in 84 rock. And that's pretty much that. So I'm just going to press Control H to hide those blue lines. Just click on one of the layers, zoom out a little bit, and you have your barcode area right there. So you have your social media synergy, cross-media convergence in the form of the web address, clear indicator of who the publisher is, although it looks a little bit warped, that Bauer logo. You could probably do a better job than me on that. Barcode's been placed in nice, neat separators. First issue, date, and price. So a number of different conventions that you've got to tick off as part of your magazine we've just completed there. So hopefully that was helpful, and thanks very much.